And thank you for joining us tonight for our drop-in Shakespeare. We are going to be reading As You Like It from beginning to end. We've got some new faces in our group. We have some familiar faces in our group. And as always, we're going to be doing some interesting and unique interpretations of Shakespeare, basically because we're all coming at this. We've had no rehearsal. There were no rules. And we are just here to have some fun. So if you're watching us on Facebook Live, please kick back and enjoy yourselves, pour yourselves a drink. We already have a few for ourselves. This is something that Eventide Theatre is doing in an effort to try and keep arts and theater alive in our communities, considering everything else that's going on. The theater is having trouble right now we're having trouble getting people to come to the theaters, so we're going to bring the theaters to you. So ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and enjoy. You have the privilege of seeing some novice readers and some experienced readers and some brilliant actors and performers from all over the region. So I hope you have as much fun as we do when we're going through this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for As You Like It.
Act 1, Scene 1, Orchard of Oliver's house. Enter Orlando and Adam.
As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will, but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, charged my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother, Jaques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his profit. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkempt. For call you that keeping for a gentleman of my birth, it differs not from the stalling of an ox. His horses are bred better. For besides that they are fair with their feeding, they are taught their manage, and to that end, riders dearly hired. And I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth, for the which his animals on his dunghills are much bound to him as I. Besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, the something that nature gave me, his countenance seems to take from me. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it, though yet I know wise remedy how to avoid it.
Enter Oliver.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and thou shalt hear how he will shake me up.
Adam retires.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor, unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be not a while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such a penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well. Here, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye. Better than him before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood, you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, and that you are the firstborn, but the same tradition takes not away my blood, where there were 20 brothers betwixt us. I have as much of my father in me as you, albeit I confess your coming before me is nearer his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys. He was my father, and he is thrice the villain that says such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would take this hand from thy throat till this other had pulled out thy tongue for saying no. Thou hast railed upon thyself.
Oh, sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not, till I please. You shall hear me. My father charges you in his will to give me good education. You've trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor a lottery left me by my testament. With that, I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you leave me.
I no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Oh, is old dog my reward?
Huh.
Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me, I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Hola, Dennis.
Enter Dennis.
I'll do Dennis. Calls your worship.
Also,
Was there
not
Dennis?
I have it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Calls your worship.
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
So please you, he is here at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in. He'll be a good way, and tomorrow the wrestling is.
Enter Charles.
Good morrow, your worship.
Good, Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
Now, there's no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves in voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new Duke. Therefore, he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
No, no, for the Duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from the cradle bred together, that she would have followed her exile, or have died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and has many merry men with him. And there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say young gentlemen flock to him every day and fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the golden world.
What, you wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke?
Marry, do I, sir, and I come to acquaint you with the matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother, Orlando, hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit, and that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for love I would be loath to foil him, as I must, for my own honor, if he come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you withal, that either you might stay from this intended, or brook such disgrace as well as he shall run into, in that it is a thing of his own search and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have by underhand means labored to dissuade him from it. But he is resolute. I'll tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as a finger, and thou wert best to look to it. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily brace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he hath taken the life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him, but should I anatomize him as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. If ever he go alone again, I'll never wrestle for prize more. And so, God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end to him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he's gentle, never schooled and yet learned, full of noble device and all sorts of enchantingly beloved, and indeed so much the heart of the world, and especially of my own people, who best know him that I am altogether misprized? But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
He
Exit.
exits. Act 1, Scene 2, a lawn before the Duke's palace. Enter Rosalind and Celia.
I prithee, Rosalind, sweet my cause, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of. And would you yet that I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished my uncle, the Duke my father, so thou hadst been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken away from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor, I will. And when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sport. Let me see, what think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee, do, to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport, neither than with safety of a pure blush thou mayst in honor come off again.
What shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would say we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced, and the bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gift to women.
'Tis true, for those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and those that she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
Enter Touchstone.
No, when nature hath made a fair creature, may not Fortune fall into the fire? Though nature hath given us wit to flouted Fortune, hath not Fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is Fortune too hard for nature, when Fortune makes nature's natural the cutter off of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not Fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiving our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and has sent this natural for our whetstone. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. How now, wit? Whither wander thou?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
Of a certain knight that swore by his honor they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it, the pancakes were not, and the mustard was good. And yet was not the knight forsworn?
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Aye, marry now, unmuzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now. Stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is it that thou meanst?
Oh, one that old Frederick, your father, loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough. Speak no more of him. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely, that wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest truth. For since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Monsieur Lebeau,
Into
With
LeBeau.
his mouth full of news.
which he will put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crammed.
All the better. We shall be more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? What color?
What color, madame? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destinies decrees.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank,
Thou losest thy old smell.
Oh, you amaze me, ladies. I would have thought you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
Yet tell us the manner of the wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs. That there is little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas.
but what is the sport, Monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Like this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first time that I heard breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must. If you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder, sure, they're coming. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on.
First, enter Duke Frederick, Lords Orlando, Charles, and attendants.
Come on, since the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madame.
Alas, he is too young, yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin, are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There is such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur, the challenger, the princess calls for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
Now, fair princess, he is the general challenger. I come but in as others do to try him with the strength of my youth.
Young gentleman, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. if you saw yourself with your eyes, and knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein, if I be foiled there, it is but one shame that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that is willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world's no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have it made empty.
The little strength that I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come, where is this gallant that is so desirous to lie with the Mother Earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warrant your grace, you shall not entreat him to a second, that have so mightily persuaded him from a first.
You mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come your ways.
Now, Hercules, be thy speed, young man.
I would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
They wrestle.
Oh, excellent young man.
And if I had a thunderbolt in mine eye, I can tell who should down.
No more, no more.
Yes, I beseech your grace, I am not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed, hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Exit Duke, Train, and LeBeau.
Were I my father, cuz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young man as his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties, ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved, if you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen,
Giving him a
Wear
chain
this-
from her neck.
wear this for me, one out of suits with fortune. That could give more, but that her hand lacks means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye, fare you well, fair gentleman.
Can I not say thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you. Fare you well.
Exit Rosalind and Celia.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Poor Orlando, thou art overthrown, or Charles or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love. Yet such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done. The Duke is humorous, what he is indeed, more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you, sir, and pray you tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that was here at the wedding? Wrestling.
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet, indeed, the smaller is his daughter, and the other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle, to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke has ta'en displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bounden to you. Fare you well.
Exit LeBeau.
Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant Duke unto a tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind.
He exits. Act 1, Scene 3, the Duke's Palace. Enter Celia and Rosalind.
My cousin, why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some of them at me, come, lame me with reasons.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when the one should be lamed with reasons, and the other mad without any.
But is this all this for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world.
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affections.
Oh, they take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Oh, a good wish upon you. You will try in time in despite of a fall. But turning these jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible that on such a sudden you should fall into such a strong liking with old Sir Rowland's youngest son?
The Duke my father loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? By this kind of chase I should hate him, for my father hated his father, yet I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Enter Duke Frederick with lords.
Let me love him for that, and do you love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of rage.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech you, your grace, let me the knowledge of my father's bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream or be not frantic, as I do not trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter, there's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord, or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her here for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her. But now I know her. If she be a traitor, why, so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, ate together, and wheresoe'er we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee, and her smoothness, her very silence and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live outside her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Exit Duke and Lords.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teaches thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with me. And do not seek to take your charge upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, now at our sorrow's pale, say what you canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirch my face. The like do you. So shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because that I am more than common tall, that I did suit me all points like a man, a gallant curtle axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden woman's fear there will have a swashing and a martial outside, as many other mannish cowards have, that do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page, and therefore, look, you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
He'd go along with us. He'd go o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now go in content to liberty and not to banishment.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 1, the Forest of Arden. Enter Duke Senior, Amiens, and 2 or 3 lords like foresters.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here, feel we not the penalty of Adam, the season's difference as the icy fang and the churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? And yet it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines with forked heads have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, this melancholy Jaques grieves at that, and in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you. Today my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along under an oak that brawls along the wood. A brook that brawls along the wood. Oh well, the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coats almost to bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. And thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jaques, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jaques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum of more to that which hath too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth he, thus misery doth part the flock of company. Anon, a careless herd, full of the pasture, jumps along by him, and never stays to greet him. Ay, quoth Jaques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken bankrupt here? Thus most invectively, he pierces through the body of the country, city, court, yes, and of this our life, swearing that we are more usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them in their assigned and native dwelling place.
I lose my place in this thing.
Book.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
Oh, we did, my lord. Weeping and commenting on the sobbing deer.
Show me the Show me the place. I love to cope him in the sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 2, the Duke's place. Enter Duke Frederick with lords.
Can it be possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. Some villains of my court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. The ladies, her attendants of her chamber, they saw her abed, and early in the morning early, they found her bed untreasured of their mistress. My lord, that roidish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the prince's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles. And she believes wherever they are gone, the youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother, fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search and inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 3, before Oliver's house. Enter Orlando and Adam, meeting.
Who's there? Is that you, Adam?
Who's Adam?
What?
Isn't it Karen?
Is it? Oh, she can't get her. I think she's having trouble with the sound.
With the mute.
Yeah. What, my young master? Oh, my gentle master. Oh, my sweet master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland. Why, what make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous Duke? Your praises come too swiftly home before you. Know you not, master, to some kind of men their graces serve them, but as enemies. No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified.
Are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what a world is this, when what is comely envenoms him that bears it.
Why? What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors, within this roof. The enemy of all your graces lives, your brother. No brother, yet the son, yet not the son. I will not call him son. Of him I was about to call his father, hath heard your praises. And this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him and his practices. There is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, and do not enter it.
Whither, Adam? Wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you do not come here.
What? Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do. If this will I not do how I can. I will rather subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire I saved under your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse, when service should in my old limbs lie lame, and unregarded in corners thrown. Take that, and he doth the raven speed, yea, providently caters for the sparrow. Be comfort to my age. Here is the gold. All this I give you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty, for in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood, nor did with bashful forehead woo the means of weakness and debility. Therefore, my age as a lusty winter, frosty, but kindly. Let me go with you. I'll do service of a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man. How well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world. When service sweat for duty, not for meed. Thou art not for the fashion of these times, where none will sweat but for promotion. And having that, do choke their service up even with the having. It is not so with thee. But poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree that cannot so much as a blossom yield in lieu of all thy pains and husbandry. Come thy ways. will go along together. And ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years until now, almost 80, here lived I, but now live here no more. At 17 years, many their fortunes seek, but at 80, it is too late a week. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 4, The Forest of Arden. Enter Rosalind for Ganymede, Celia for Aliena, and Clown Alias. Touchstone.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I cannot, for my spirits, my legs were not weary.
I could find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman, but I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
There. I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
On my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you. Yet I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the Forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Enter Corin and Silvius.
Aye, be so, good Touchstone. Look you who comes here, a young man and an old in solemn talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corinne, that thou shouldst know how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved her ere now.
No, Corinne, being old, thou canst not guess. Thou in thy youth, thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think did never man love so, how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, thou didst never know love so heartily. If thou remember now not the slightest folly thou ever loved and make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearing thy hearer in thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. If thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe.
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her battler and the cow's dugs that her pretty chapped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of Peascod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cards and giving her them again, said with weeping tears, "Oh, weigh these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art aware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er be ware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you, question young man, if he for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Holla, you, clown!
Peace, fool, he's not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
Your betters, sir.
Else they are very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake more than for mine own. My fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale. At our sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing that you will feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
That young swain that you saw here but erewhile, that little cares for buying anything.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend your wages. I like this place, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me, if you like, upon report. The soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 5, another part of the forest. Enter Amiens, Jacques, and others.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
Oh, more, I prithee thee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
I thank it. More, I prithee thee, more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee thee, more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanza. Call them you stanzas.
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well then, if ever I thank any man, I thank you. But that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog apes. And when a man thanks me heartily, methinks have given him a penny, and he renders me the beggarly thanks. Come sing, and you that will not hold your tongues.
Well, I'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
Oh, and I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
I will give you a verse of this note that I made yesterday, in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it comes to pass that any man turn as, leave his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, duck damnay, duck damnay, duck damnay, here shall we see gross fools is he, and he will come to me.
What's that duck damnay?
It's a Greek invention to call fools into a circle. I'll go to sleep if I can. I cannot. I'll rail against the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Exit severally. Act 2, Scene 6, The Forest. Enter Orlando and Adam.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here, lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it or bring it for food for thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers. For my sake be comfortable. Hold death a while at the arm's end. I will be here with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said, thou lookst cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. Yet thou liest in the bleak air. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Adam.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 7.